So now what I'm interested in testing is this orc here that we're gonna slap chop a little bit. We're gonna give this guy a little couple of dry brushes, and then we're gonna try our speed paints again on this fool here. Okay, so now that we have this guy here all dry brushed, so and then the next step in our trial is to use them a little bit more in a convenient way, meaning how we intend to use this product, right? Because this is all like fine and dandy, but we never, like I never actually do this on any model, so I don't really care. Like it's cool that it does this, but for my, for what I want to use it for, how does it work? And so we're gonna give this a try with the slap chop method. So you can look. There's at least there's my video, and there's like a million videos of slap chopping. So look those up. But essentially, it's you prime your mini black, and then you dry brush it various shades of gray and white until you get something like this, and then you add your speed paint or your contrast on top of it, and then you get a much deeper color and a much deeper shading situation because, well, it's kind of pre-shaded. You can also do this with actual colors by dry brushing white. And there's a thing going on right now called a double slap chop, which is essentially doing 2 passes of dry brush and 2 passes of contrast. So dry brush, contrast on the mini. So there are a bunch of different ways to explore. You can do it on metallics and stuff. But right now, let's just stick to the basic black, dry brush white. Let's see where we end up with these good colors. So let's try to keep a little bit. It's not a Space Marine, but we can get a similar effect. So we're gonna use the same colors that we did on our Space Marine just to get like again another comparison of what we get. And so like already, even with this like light turquoise, now it's no longer a light turquoise. We get like a pretty deep turquoise now. It went from super light to this. So already more interesting. So I honestly think this technique is where you really get your money's worth for the army painter versus the Citadel ones, the contrast, where maybe the contrasts are a little bit more out of the pot on the white primer. I think these ones here you get like your money's worth with the slap chop. And the fact that the consistency being the same, I really like too. I think this is one of those little things of what we'd call like a quality of life thing, where just not having to kind of guess how it's going to be, or oh, this one we have to work it in differently because it's like more liquid or more gel like. The fact that this one is they're all pretty much the same. I like this a lot for just because you don't have to either guess and you also don't have to learn, right? You don't have to like, oh, I know that I know that Magma Draught Orange, you need very thin coats, otherwise it's too potent. But like I had to ruin one mini to figure that out because like if I used it like any other contrast and then whoops, it was not any other contrast and then that kind of sucked. Now this is going to be the real test because palette bone is very, very light. So this one is the one that really always sucks at the Games Workshop one. So if we can get this one to work, it's pretty cool. We don't have high hopes. Let's be honest here, okay? I mean, it's not hideous, but definitely not super interesting because you can see too much of the black through it. So that's, that I guess that's kind of okay. Where this did exactly what we thought it would do. Let's add some more pink now. Get like a light pink. I like this color. This is very interesting. So brown's probably the one I use the most from the Games Workshop range as well, just because pouches, belts, and whatnot, it's just so good. So getting the same dark brown here, I like it. But again, this is kind of the, like it works, you know. It's nothing crazy here. But I like it so far. I think it does like a great job. It covers real well. Like you can't see even on the raised area of this super light one. Like you don't see white, which is kind of the biggest, like the most important thing. Even in the pink, it's not white. It stays pink. So I like that part. Now let's try our two metallics here, because the metallics is really where now we get something interesting. Whereas on this, we didn't get like the contrast feel, right? Like a gold, it's kind of every other gold paint. Maybe there's a little bit of shadow, but even then, and then a silver, same thing. Where if this is, you know, there's a little bit here on top, but very little. So let's see with this pre-shading if it works or if it just covers like a motherfucker. Because it could be that good where it just covers everything up, which would also be like good news because like it's great paint. And like silver is one of those colors that you paint a lot when you do miniatures because most models have weapons. Finding a paint that does silver really well and really quickly is a great news. Let's just do a bigger, like I know it does, it's not like really silver, but I just want to see what it does. And then let's try the gold. Same thing, but with the gold now, the uplete gold. The reason I want to do the plates and the parts of the little dress is because there's a lot more black in it, so I want to see if the black shine still shows through. So again, we kind of face, oh, well, on the helmet, we do get some of that shading in there. Okay. Silver here. Let's look at that blade. So we get a little bit, but not too much. So overall, I'm very happy. Like, I'll be like fully honest with the Army Painter 1. I was like pretty much done with the Army Painter. Like they broke my heart, like flat out. I was not only like a miniature painter, I was also a retailer. So not only did I not get like the paint that I kind of wanted and I hoped that it would be, but also I got jacked out of like a lot of money because it was a shit product. So that was, you know, they kind of broke my heart a little bit. Now with this, they're a little bit back. You know, they're a little. I'm gonna. They've changed, and they are now different, and I'm gonna give them a second chance, especially for these two guys here. You know, if it wasn't for these two guys, maybe I wouldn't bother changing, but now that I've bought all of them, I'm definitely going to mix them in the rotation, especially, again, because of the strong thing, which is they are all the same. So the ones that I don't necessarily like in the Games Workshop are the ones that are kind of too out there, or that they're like really hard to mix to get the proper color. Like Gut Ripa is one of them. Like the greens for Games Workshop, they're really bad. You have to mix them a lot, and they're not always the same. So I'm going to switch to the Army Painter for those, probably. You know, I say this as a guess. So I'm really happy about them. I like that they're very simple, and they do what I like very well, which is the pre-shading situation. If I still think I will maintain this. If you are into the camp of one primer, one speed paint, don't paint this. You know, this is too much. But this is a little bit too clowny. But yeah, if you're in the business of one primer, one contrast, I do think Games Workshop is still superior for that. But that is such a low, like that's such a low stake of mini that if you want to do something so simple, there's better ways to go at it than just contrast, in my opinion. However, if you've got your heart set on doing that, I think the Army Painter is not as good for this specific thing. I think for everything else or a lot of other things, they're probably better. Thank you for watching this video. If you've enjoyed and found this useful, be sure to subscribe to the channel and let me know in the comments if there's anything else you would like me to talk about. I make all of these videos based on the questions from you guys.